War games.
Amazing. So, all right. Obviously, as you can tell, you can see on the camera what I'm wearing. So, it's amazing to say that I was actually there for one of the biggest AEW pay-per-views to date, and it was here in my literal backyard. Gotta love it. Plus, I get to meet Danhausen. Yeah, I got to meet a lot of people. It was great.
There he is.
There we go.
Colonel
Absolutely.
Colonel Tomhausen.
Yeah, and watching Batman for the third time the other day, I actually got to see that Elvis trailer again. It got no reaction from the crowd, but not the same audience. Not even close. So, lots to talk about, and I don't know how much time we've got. I guess we don't really have a schedule here. I mean, I lost more weight. Life's good. And trying to reflect on getting through another day and getting through another award season because it's all sorts of messed up right now.
It's
We've
busy
got a lot to talk
as
about.
shit.
So I'll shoot with you guys right now. The way the schedule works, it's going to be difficult to do next show. The BAFTA and Critics' Choice show. Because of my work schedule. But we should be able to do a normal show. Because of daylight savings time, we should be about like even when it comes to the broadcast, which Ashley confirmed is not showing in the US at all. So yay,
well, it is.
That's all fun.
But instead of being on BBC America like it has been, they're doing it like I think it's called the Britannia Awards, which are like the American BAFTAs or something. And it's going to be exclusively on the BritBox streaming service. At least.
I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of it, and probably never will again.
Basically, all the British channels got together and created their own streaming service to try and take on Netflix.
Yeah, good luck with that. So yeah, we'll figure out what we're doing with BAFTA and Critics' Choice, but you're getting your recap show. Don't worry about it. Spirits for the other day. Ashley, I remember watching the playback of the Popcast, or what it was, like basically just like a recap show, not even a Popcast. And yeah. Ashley said he's mathematically eliminated himself from the competition. So it's me versus AJ one more time. So I either need to not pick the same thing as AJ or accept defeat right now. So.
Well, I'm trying to. To be fair, you aren't matching with AJ as much on the critics, so it could be
my
that.
Critic predictions are Chrizap.
But we'll see.
I went with a lot of things I'm not comfortable saying now.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things that either you went on your own or you went with me, so either you're joining me in not first.
I mean, I'm not exceedingly far from catching up to AJ, but we'll see if I even get there. Oh yeah, we got a show to start. That's cold open, ladies and gentlemen. Restaurant quality. Just like when I met Danhausen the other day. Right now, we're going to talk about, first off, before we go any further, you see what the Popcast is. It's our BAFTA prediction show. But Ashley also wants to kind of gloss over what happened with the Spirit Awards, and apparently it's Hollywood versus the world right now when it comes to figuring out how divisive this eliminating category situation has become. Mm-hmm. Social media is running rampant so much that it's actually affected me. That does not normally happen. I normally do not see this across my Twitter feed. Now I have. So that means that something's going down. And sure as I've seen Batman 3 times already, and we'll continue to watch it more and more as we progress, there's a lot to talk about. Just like Jerry Reed once said, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. And that's exactly what we're going to do here, because we are the tail end of award season that should have already been over by now. Because of the way the schedule works out, that's not a thing. We still have a few weeks left and a lot of award shows to get to. A lot of visibility for a lot of things. There's a lot of people thinking they have a idea what's going to win Best Picture at this point. I don't think anybody knows right now. I will say that me and AJ's prognostication of King Richard overperforming continues, which is awesome, by the way, for it winning the Eddie. So that's great. Love that. Coda's dividing the world right now, apparently, and people are still thinking the power of the dog is the unstoppable juggernaut. None of the above are true. None of the above are false. It's subjective at this point.
There is another category I'd like to bring up real quick.
All right.
And something I didn't realize. And I feel like I should bring it up now because, interestingly enough, we're not going to be talking about it with BAFTA. The last time we did something, we saw that Coming to America pretty much dominated the Makeup Guild.
Right.
And while I'm not very trustworthy of the guilds this year, when you see nominations versus Oscar turnout, I don't know. I had heard something about, like, in the tech categories, names aren't listed, only movies.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And there's another push, I feel like, for Coming to America, if people know, where that whole thing of if you have momentum for something else, it could help.
Yeah.
There's a name that I've been hearing a lot because of the interviews I've been watching.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in a tech category and your name is being said a lot, that's a big deal.
Yeah, of course.
So apparently the guy that's nominated for Coming to America is Mike Marino, the guy that did Colin Farrell's makeup in the Batman.
Oh, wow.
So, and we're already talking about, so next year's makeup winner is the Batman, right?
100%. 100%.
I mean,
So with that,
probably.
with Colin Farrell having to literally naming that guy in every single interview he's done for the Batman, which is a shitload. I feel like the guy's getting a reputation already in a very good way. So, are we thinking this is just a boost for the Batman's future in this category, or do you think that helps Coming to America if people know?
The thing is, you don't know if they know or not, and I'll say this right now. Granted, it's March. It's March of 2022, and we're talking about the 2023 Oscars. But I'll tell you right now.
Like I said when me and my brother reviewed it, if the Batman is not winning makeup next year, I don't know what is.
I will say right now, well, Colonel Hankshausen, of course. Thing is, I'll say right now that everybody that was talking about how they wanted to see the Amazing Spider-Man performance for getting anything in the top categories, like Kevin Smith, very, very adamant about Spider-Man missing out on Best Picture. Well, I think we're finally going to make up for what happened with Nolan. And I will say right now, at this very moment, I don't care. I could be wrong, and I probably will be. I think the Batman can contend next year. It may not contend heavily, but I think it's going to be a force. And if we continue with this 10, depending on how the rest of the year go, I honestly think it could happen. And I'm going to say that right now.
I was gonna say, I know it's early, but do we get to hold you to this, or?
I would say yes. And I would say watch out for my boy in supporting actor.
You're talking about Dano.
Of course. Because heel performances do very well when it comes to the Academy. Especially one like that.
My only contention as to whether it's going to win makeup and hair is we do have Avatar 2 and Creed 3 coming before the end of the year.
Oh, Avatar I don't think is going to be a problem.
Well, the other thing that's holding me back from because Avatar would probably be all CGI, wouldn't it?
For the most part, yeah.
Who knows?
The only thing that would be holding me back from my potentially hyperbolic statement is that we are in a year right now that has House of Gucci and Tammy Faye, two movies that would absolutely be dominating this category if they didn't come out in the same year, and even they could lose to like Dune or something.
Yeah.
Because I get so involved with the character and so taken in by the character, I tend to forget that the Baron is Stellan Skarsgård in makeup that's 100% win worthy. So
So, yeah, I probably should say this by now. If you are new to the network, welcome. If you're not, then welcome back. So, my name is Owen. Joining me as always, we have Ashley.
Damn you, Leto.
Oh boy. And we have AJ.
yeah,
Lots of stuff going on tonight. Honestly, it really is. And lots of things about chat to go in, I have to go into as well before we go any further. Because we are going to talk about the spirits a little bit and what's going on with the crazy state of the race. And Steven Spielberg threw down the gavel and basically said, "This is what should be." And everybody's like, "Yeah, that's right. Let's do this." So
I don't like Spielberg saying the words "I'm not optimistic." That makes me really uncomfortable.
yeah,
I just preferred it when Del Toro at that Hollywood Critics Association thing that I started watching after we did the show 2 weeks back was like, you know, do the fucking right thing. It's like, yeah. If he swears, you know he's pissed.
yeah, that's why I had to make sure when I shot the video of Punk's entrance at Revolution that I didn't curse on it, because I swore that I did, but I didn't, thankfully. So I did before I started filming because I knew what was going on, but I didn't say it on camera, so it's still there. Welcome everyone to chat. Josie says, "Hey podcast team, finally finished reading The Great and Secret Show by Clive Barker. What an epic. Now reading a novel called The Cat Who Saved Books." I think I've heard of that before, actually. Maybe I ran into it at Walmart a time or two when I was on a fig hunt. It's possible. Sosuke Natsukawa is the author. And speaking of Japanese, I finally watched Drive My Car. It was brilliant. Yes, it was. Favorite film of the season next to Licorice Pizza. Josie, we're kindred spirits when it comes to that. The only thing missing on that list would be Tick Tick Boom and Coda for me, and that you've got basically my favorites right there. And of course, French Dispatch too. So it's like that's my list right there. So, and I know you like those, so we're about even. Would love for Drive My Car to win Best Picture for that sign language Uncle Vanya performance. Man, that scene gives me chills. Yeah, tell me about it. I can't wait to see it again in a couple weeks. I'm excited to finally Drive My Car again, because last time I saw it, it was in that very cavernous theater in California with a bunch of people in the afternoon. That's her cheer moment. Probably my favorite scene of the season. Brian says, "Wow, AJ Bryan's like going through 2010 again, and he's seen The Impossible, Nightcrawler, Baby Driver, 127 Hours, American Hustle, and Argo, and now he's watching Nebraska."
That's a really good lineup, except oh no, I guess there's no except, is there?
No, not at all. I like all of those in one way or another.
I'd say.
I mean, actually, if you want to look at it, other than The Impossible, those are some of my favorite movies of 2010.
Wait, did I hear American Hustle in there?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I rewatched American Hustle like a year and a half ago, and it didn't quite hold up. I still don't know what the fuck Cooper was doing, and what. And I didn't know what the fuck Cooper was doing when we first saw it. So.
So much flack for that. We'll talk about it. Nebraska's really good though. You'll like it.
Yeah.
Josie said just started watching Peacemaker. I love it.
Yeah, I'm still only 3 episodes in, but I do plan on getting back to it as soon as possible.
I haven't seen an episode yet. Don't watch television, but I am proud to say, after so much trying and so much deliberation, it has finally happened officially. John Cena follows me on Twitter. Josie brings us up because Peaceful Easy Feeling by the Eagles was playing. Don't let the dude hear you. Brian says, and 2 other Big 8 categories complete for me, 127 hours. Should have won for adapted, and Tommy Lee Jones and Lincoln for supporting actor. I'm with you on both of those.
So I'm not going to go against Waltz by any means,
No.
but he's
I'm with you on the possibility, but yeah, no one's gonna beat Waltz.
But yeah, he is. Tommy Lee Jones is incredible in Lincoln for sure.
I remember watching Lincoln. I think I told you, AJ. I watched it on the Disney Fantasy on like an afternoon one day, and that was on this like huge towering screen, and it was just it was amazing.
By the way, just gonna throw this out there while we're on the subject. Another really underrated performance to show that Tommy Lee Jones had an amazing 2012. I think he's amazing in Hope Springs too. He had a really good 2012. Like
Did we watch that in Athens?
What's that?
Did we watch that in Athens?
That was here.
Oh no, it was here. Okay.
And that was yeah. I just think that whole movie's really underrated, and I love to throw appreciation to it whenever I can.
Fair. All right, Josie's the first one to drop the gauntlet. Saw the Batman on Saturday, and I loved it. When Dano's Riddler were set on the trail, all I could think about was the riddles in the I Spy books. Would love to see I Spy Gotham City edition.
Oh, that'd be wild.
I mean, I could see it available at a Barnes & Noble and near you right now. Riddles by the Riddler himself. Yes. Even more of adding fuel to the fire that I am Paul Dano in many ways possible. Brian says, what about Avatar 2 or Lightyear? I keep forgetting about the existence of Lightyear, even though I see a trailer for it every once in a while because my AMC is at Disney Springs. But I don't know how well I'm going to like that movie, honestly.
I have trouble getting behind the concept of it, but we'll see what happens. I'll wait and judge it when it's out, but I'm not crazy about the idea in general, but we'll see.
The last time we had an origin movie of a movie that I absolutely loved, I realized that it's a cult that needs to be stopped and does not need to be made into another movie. So I hope that doesn't happen with Buzz Lightyear. Because I absolutely hate the Monsters University movie because of that, and it's cult that there is obviously a cult because of the hats. That's how it works.
This is a thing.
Yes, this is a thing. Come to theme parks, AJ. That's all people wear is Monsters University hats. I believe it's a cult. Brian says Cooper's lead in American Hustle.
I can kind of see that.
That's why I kind of like, yeah. Josie said since the last podcast I watched Almost Heroes. It was very funny. Yes, it was.
I probably haven't seen that in over a decade, but so many of its jokes just randomly come into my head still. Every time, just recently this past week, me and my brother always reference the uppercase A, lowercase a.
So yeah, that's our chat right now, and that means it's time to delve into the spirits a little bit.
Well, we didn't get fully into not just the Spielberg thing, but the new little tidbit that came out that seemingly, whether it's trying to deflect blame, I don't know. But the Academy insiders are basically saying that ABC threatened to cancel the entire thing if they didn't have 12 categories cut.
I saw that. I don't know if I buy it, but I saw that. And they're trying to deflect the heat. I can see that completely.
I don't know that that seems like such an empty threat.
Yeah, totally.
Because why would they completely cancel a show? They're clearly so desperate to be seen that they're ruining it in hopes that it will be seen more.
Yeah, exactly.
That's because I keep wanting to say it pisses me off to think about it so much. I just want to say tell everyone you know not to watch it so that their ratings just go down the absolute shitter. But the only problem is that should their ratings go really, really way down, they're just going to do something dumber next year. to try to fix it.
Then again, if there's less awards handed out and more of the stuff that the public want, and less of the public see it, surely they realise that it was a bad move. I mean, as Spielberg said in his statement, they tried it a decade ago, and back turned on it within a week of the actual ceremony.
Right.
So who knows?
It just boggles my mind. It's like, I mean, people wait all year for sports. People wait all year for other things just because we care about this enough to devote time to watch every single solitary second of everything and pay attention to all of the minute details. People do that with the Super Bowl. They do it with pretty much anything, really, when it comes to sports. Why can't we just have this? It's one night. Seriously. I don't care about these other things. Other people don't care about these other things. We just want to have our award show. It's one night. That's it. Devote one night. Take the L on the ratings. God forbid the latest television show is not doing ratings anyway, so it doesn't really matter. ABC hasn't been relevant since the 90s. So, I mean, yeah, it's like Smurfy Boy said, don't the Oscars bring the highest ratings for ABC? What else do they have? Theoretically speaking, what does ABC have going for it right now? I don't think they have anything. Do they have, I think they had football at one point. I don't think they have football anymore. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't care.
Let's have a quick look. I'm trying to look for ratings for if there's an actual chart of ratings for ABC. Problem is, it's mostly just seasons rather than the actual shows. So their highest, at least according to whatever this is they had 6 million for Grey's Anatomy's either finale or I guess the average.
It's Grey's. It makes perfect sense.
Although Good Doctor was actually the most watched with 7 million, actually.
You know what that is, or care. So
Scott, what's his name? Kid that probably regrets working with Kevin Spacey in Beyond the Sea. Freddie Highmore.
I feel like this is gonna be repetitive, but seriously, when you look back at all the other ceremonies and you see the skits that they did and the banter they did and stuff like that, what kind of feedback is ABC hearing that makes them think this is what the public wants more of than the actual show itself?
I mean, we've got the People's Choice Awards for that, if they really want to do that.
That was brought up so many times at that Hollywood Critics one that was on YouTube.
Well, the People's Choice Awards is a dumpster fire, and it's basically one step below the MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah, but if it's of any interest, at that Hollywood Critics one, which admittedly is only going to be part of maybe what is part of Critics' Choice, who won Best Actor, Owen?
Who?
Garfield.
Hey, they can get it right from time to time.
Aren't those I feel like I heard those awards once compared to the Walk of Fame, to where it's it's really just, you just kind of it's basically more like press than anything else.
Oh, it's like the PWI 500. That makes sense.
Than an actual honor.
I don't know whether it's actual press, because they gave a fair few awards to Last Night in Soho, which nobody else has really done. And they completely ignored Licorice Pizza. So, considering it's all about Hollywood, they didn't appreciate it.
I hate the Academy for that. I hate the Academy for a lot of things right now, but that's one major thing I hate the Academy for.
I just don't get what's going on with this whole it's like there's some self-destructive thing involving award shows because not only do we have this bullshit, but this whole thing of having Critics' Choice, BAFTA, and DGA all in the same area, and you have to split up Hollywood. Like who's doing this on purpose, and why? I don't.
Some people just like to watch the world burn, AJ.
Why is it so? We've had so much fucking time this season.
Tell me about it. You know how
And
much
it's like if you
don't need?
I mean, it's one thing. It's one thing to be somebody and have to say, like, oh, am I going to go to the prestigious award show or am I going to go to the show that's more like a party? But it's like, what's that going to do to your reputation if you stand up BAFTA for fucking YouTubers giving you an award?
Yeah.
It's. I guess I saw a discussion where it was a list of the nominees, and it was like, which show are they going to go to, Critics' Choice or BAFTA? Most people are saying Will Smith's going to go to Critics' Choice. I think that would be a terrible idea, and I would like to think that he's business savvy enough to know that would be a terrible idea.
Well,
I mean, it might get him more American attention, but if he wants industry attention, you better go to the fucking BAFTAs, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I believe some of the people that are staying in America will be sort of showing up in like live video form for BAFTA, like how the Brits showed up in London for the Oscars last year, sort of thing. They're doing this. They're doing the same thing. So, because I'm pretty sure that's how Lady Gaga is going to be part of the BAFTA Rising Star Award. Because she's then passing it off to last year's winner, Bucky Bakray, to present, the 2021 winner, I guess.
I suppose it's not as bad as long as there are a lot get like Kate Winslet at SAG, where she was just on her couch pre-recorded, possibly sick. Hopefully it's not a lot of that.
Oh, dear Lord, I got more content. Sorry. I don't look away for 5 minutes as the conversation's moving along. I've got more chat. Brian says, Smurfy Boy, lots of people care more about The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, a show where they see people whine and bitch and moan. Ooh. Brian threw out a versus idea. Speaking of Nightcrawler, AJ, I recommend you do a versus with Nightcrawler versus Gone Girl, two of the darkest movies of 2014.
Yeah, I guess they are both media focused.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll take that into consideration. Brian, I can tell AJ's response.
Yeah, potentially. I came out around this. I think they both came out like in that September area. I think they were both October, actually.
Sounds right. Smurfy Boy says Oscars would be a tighter show if they got rid of the corny jokes and original song performances, but they won't get rid of those performances. Brian says get rid of the original song category. How about no? I actually like the original song category, and it's fun.
Well, that's what I've always said. Like, if you want one category to go, that would be the first one.
Apparently, they are performing as well.
Reba's on the Oscar stage, doo-dah, doo-dah.
I feel like it's being said enough that not anytime soon, because they're so fucking fickle, but as long as people continuously say it nonstop the way they do, I'd say within a decade's time, we might get that stun category. Maybe. I know the main concern is that people will get too hungry for an Oscar and end up killing themselves.
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and I'm an Oscar winner for Best Stunt Performance.
I mean, never forget, Bad Grandpa got that makeup nomination.
Exactly. Brian says it's called the pandemic. Josie says, where are we? I think what could really help Oscar ratings is having the show on an earlier time. East Coast people have work or school the next day. Do they see the logic in that? I'd appreciate if the show was earlier, but I understand why it's prime time.
So that would be like if it's like 6 or 7 or something instead of 8. I could
Right.
see being a decent move.
Yeah, but you could, I mean, and I know because I've been in it now, trying to fight LA traffic at like 2 o'clock, trying to get to the theater. That'd be very difficult.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. That I guess that would be.
That's the
Um,
problem.
if it was 6 or 7 here, that mean it was really early in California. But
That's the only problem I see. I'd love to have it earlier, though. Brian has a good point. Which host would you rather watch, Rebel Wilson or Tay Diggs and Nicole Byer? Well, I mean, immediately, your
Tay
argument.
Tay Diggs knows how to handle that shit show of a show.
Yeah.
He does.
He brings it to life.
But at the same time, why have we added a second person?
I don't even know who that person is, to be honest with you.
No idea.
Because normally when we have multiple people having to do hosting duties, it's, to me, a little bit concerning, because that's why I'm worried for the Oscars, because it's like, not even 2, do 3.
Well, okay, you want to talk about something that makes multiple hosts work? The first thing that comes to my mind is comic relief. When you had Billy Crystal, Robin Williams, and Whoopi Goldberg, and they're all hosting the show together, and it made sense. Because nobody stepped on each other. They worked together, they worked separately, and nobody got too much shine. I think that's what they need to do if they're going to be so adamant about having multiple hosts for some stupid reason. They have to make it work. They're not going to, but they have to.
You know what duo needs to make a comeback together? I mean, they kind of did in a Spielberg movie a few years ago, but I mean comedically. Think about if we had Odenkirk and David Cross.
I would love Mr. Show host.
Not only are they a reliable comedic duo that are amazing together, but Odenkirk now is like the respectable side and the one that's kind of in with all these people, and David Cross would be kind of the roaster of the two of them. It would be a perfect back and forth.
For a minute there, when you said, Spielberg the last few years, I thought it was going to be Tom Hanks and Mark Rylance, and Tom Hanks is going to go, do you have the envelope? And Mark Rylance go, would it help?
Another strategy Josie talks about would be to advertise, in all caps, the show and tell people when, all caps, it is on, because I've noticed a lot of people don't know when the show is. Every year, we always ask each other, hey, when's the red carpet? When's the red carpet? I took Oscar Sunday off because I didn't want to have to deal with any of the crap. And I took Oscar Monday off, too, so we could do a proper recap.
Depending as well, what is going on with that. The red carpet's going to be extremely necessary, because it's like, this is where we find out the people that win the other award. So...
Someone brought up on Twitter the other day, I don't know what you guys think about this idea of the winners of the Oscars bringing the ones that weren't good enough to be on the main show up to, like, get them some shine on, like, the televised broadcast.
Those pieces of shit would probably just cut the microphone out of protest.
Probably. Gotta Kevin done that stuff. It's the only way to make it work.
Well, imagine what that is. If the people stand up in solidarity for, like, the 8 that didn't get answered, and the ceremony all of a sudden only goes an hour, and ABC have to work out how to pad out the other 2 when they only have padding for like 40 minutes.
Let us not forget, when Parasite was winning picture and they got cut off, the room turned into a mob.
Oh yeah, totally. And if something crowd-pleasing like King Richard or Coda end up winning picture, they're not going to cut them off either. Not even close. They got a crime on their hands if they do that. Let's see. Brian take a shot. Josie says to Brian, comedy bits can be so cringy, especially when they try to be PC, which is a big turnoff. Let's see. The Academy wants big stars performing on the show. Okay, you're not wrong, Smurfy boy, but here's the thing. If that's the case, then stuff the ballot box.
Yeah.
You don't put unknowns on the show if you want big performances. You, pad the ballot box so all 5 are well-known performers and not just randos. And every year we have a out-there performance that we weren't expecting to get in there over a very divisive performance by somebody that everybody knows.
Well, in retort to that, I'm just doing this because I know that AJ is a fan. You've heard how they're opening the BAFTAs on Sunday, right?
That would be a no.
I have not.
To mark 60 years of Bond, they're having Shirley Bassey do a song. They aren't declaring which. So the question is, do they go for the obvious Goldfinger, or do they really go old school and swerve you, and it's like, Lonsdale, motherfuckers, it's Moonraker time, or we just have a medley?
See, I'm not even a Bond mark, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's how they're opening the show. They haven't got Cirque du Soleil in like previous years.
All right, hold on. Since we're getting ready to do predictions, let me just mark No Time to Die for all the tech categories.
Wouldn't be the first time, probably not the last. So
yeah, I almost forgot what this show is actually supposed to be.
The good thing is when we get going, we don't really have much to talk about because we've already talked about it all season.
Yeah.
But that's what chat's for, everyone. So let's see. Josie says, I would love to see Sting perform that song from Leon the Professional. God, I wish that were an original song.
Oh, that's the other one as well. We know who also is going to be at the BAFTAs. Because along with Shirley Bassey singing, Amelia Jones is going to be singing her song from
I heard about
as well.
that.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, she's going to be doing a rendition of Both Sides Now.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I'm excited about that.
And apparently they're also marking Harry Potter stuff. Which, depending how you feel on J.K. Rowling, might be, pitchforks, or you're a wizard, Harry.
Same thing. Smurfy Boy says SAG do fine without a host every year. Yeah, and it flows really well, too.
Yeah, it does feel like... That's what I was telling you. I always feel like SAG is always my favorite show of the season. Because it's just so smooth.
It's the fun show. It's a show where everybody, no matter if your movie wins or loses, it's a show you always come out knowing you had a fun time.
And what's interesting about it feeling fun also is the fact that everybody that wins is going to be so passionate, because that's always the award that means the most, because it's the peers.
Yeah, our
compare Joaquin Phoenix's SAG speech to the rest of his speeches. It's significantly different.
Absolutely. Let's see. 6 o'clock hour. You got to reserve for your local and world news unless you're a college football, college basketball, or NBA game, says Brian. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but that's for me as not a sports fan. But I understand that 6 o'clock is the news hour, so I get why that would be a concern. Josie says, breaking news, Florence Pugh is in talks to play Princess Irulan in Dune.
I thought they already filmed that.
It starts filming this summer.
Oh.
So they're going to be in the same movie, eh? Okay, that's interesting. All right. I don't need to say anything more than that. Luncheon was yesterday, and I heard it was Alfred Molina reading the names of the nominees.
Please tell me when Garfield was introduced, he just went, "Hello, Peter," and it's like, that was it. That's all you needed.
No, you missed the opportunity. You literally look at the person with the teleprompter, and he just looks up and goes, not gonna look at your card? I know I'm the only one of like 8 people to get that reference, and I really don't care. He will always be the Spaniard in Maverick to me.
I'm still trying to remember that line that he did. One of the lines that he did in Boogie Nights.
Yeah, all I was thinking was, I won't say a line from Boogie Nights. I'll just start setting off firecrackers. That's my Alfred Molina reference.
That's fair. Josie says, get Guy Fieri to do an Oscar recipe. I love the emoticons, Josie, that I'm marking out for them. It's a female chef with a Nick Gage pizza cutter and pizza.
Yeah,
or is that a Matt Cardone cutter? I guess it's me. It could be both. Hold on. Smurfy Boy says, I think it'd be a smart idea to have the cast of The Godfather present Best Picture since the 50th anniversary. Yeah, that's the reason why it was in Dolby this last couple weeks.
And then they give it to Coda because it's all about family. Then again, you could do that with Power of the Dog as well to some extent.
Yeah.
A more traditional family nowadays. Now.
Especially, well, no, okay, I can't.
Unless you're Sam Elliott.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't even go into that either. I don't think we really need to. It's just kind of the only question is, it's not what Sam Elliott said, it's how many people in the industry agree with him and aren't saying it.
And I refer you to
because are we I mean, that's not the direction he was taking this, but I'm just saying, as far as a movie being a front runner that could be dethroned, are you getting Brokeback vibes from that?
I'm getting the vibes that Sam Elliott thinks he's John Wayne. And he responds in the exact same way that John Wayne would.
Sam Elliott actually came up in the post AEW media thing. I don't know if you saw any of that, Owen.
I saw a little bit of it.
Because, like, he wanted to know the old guy in Roadhouse. And of course, no, but of course somebody shouted out Terry Funk, not Sam Elliott.
I mean, Funk is in Roadhouse.
Exactly. Exactly.
Let's see. Josie says Barry Keoghan and Bobby P are supposed to be on the short list to play Fide Rotha. Why are these names all Star Trek style?
I'd only heard Barry Keoghan. I hadn't heard. That's interesting, because I know when it was as soon as Dune 2 was announced that it was greenlit, Barry Keoghan posted like cryptic emoticons.
I'm guessing Patterson is only allowed to do Warner Brothers films now, so he can't continue with Nolan.
I mean, that's fine. Brian says, unless you've been dethroned, Nolan, unless for ratings you get the 3 Spider-Man to present. I honestly see that's happening. I don't see any way that doesn't happen. And if not, they're missing a golden opportunity.
Yeah, because if they got Mike Myers and Dana Carvey to present Bohemian Rhapsody as a picture nominee, I would like to think they're like this will be one of the few things they can actually do competently, is get people to present the right things. Even those get weird. Like, what was it Streisand or Bette Midler or somebody that presented something as a picture nominee, but that had nothing to do with them at all, and it was really random. Like I think one of them was in charge of Black Klansman or something.
Hollywood, if you're listening to the show right now, can you please get Adam Pascal and Anthony Rapp to present Tick, Tick, Boom somewhere? I'd appreciate it greatly.
That'd be good.
Distance right now. Let's see. Take a shot. Josie says the guy doing the butt dancing in the Applebee's chicken fried commercial is Bronco Henry.
That's another comment I saw was Sam Elliott's just pissed he didn't get to play Bronco Henry.
Yeah. I can see that understanding. Like, if The Power of the Dog was directed by the Coen brothers, maybe, but that'd be the only chance he'd have. Ooh, I want that to happen now. Anyway, the problem with Coda being the alternative Power of the Dog is that it doesn't have a director or editing nomination. That's what Smurfy Boy said.
Yeah, I think, like I said before, having Argo and Green Book in the same decade, I don't think having a director nomination matters as much as it used to win
No.
picture.
Plus, keep him. Hang on. Keep in mind, in terms of like the schedule as to what's going on, voting doesn't open until a week on Thursday, so on St. Patrick's Day,
Plenty of time for things to change.
and closes on the 22nd. So if Coda keeps getting the momentum enough, it might get that push to actually put it in, despite only having 3 nominations.
I feel like that's also something that's going to help, because a lot of people are thinking that Stewart's going to do a Regina King thing.
Very possible.
And that's the kind of thing that could probably really help her out, where these shows are in the past when voting starts, and they're just looking at the ballots. But obviously, that's another video for another day. But
Brian says, I'd love to see Robbie Benson and Paige O'Hara present for Beauty and the Beast 30th anniversary. Yes, please make that happen.
The names currently listed that aren't the actors and the directors from last year are Ruth E. Carter, Kevin Costner, who I think so far is the most likely to be Best Picture out of the list. Gaga, Lily James, Zoe Kravitz, John Leguizamo, Simu Liu, Rami Malek, Rosie Perez, Chris Rock, and Uma Thurman.
I would assume, since Power of the Dog is like kind of showing the Western in a different light, if they're trying to make if Costner presenting picture, they're trying to make some kind of spectacle, which means they're assuming that Power of the Dog would win picture if that were the case. But we've seen before when they seem to try to plan ahead with presenters and it doesn't work out. But given how Cuarón was winning that whole season, I still don't get why they brought Sidney Poitier out in hopes that Steve McQueen might have won director for 12 Years a Slave. And you could tell he wasn't amused by that either.
Right.
That win was always going to be Cuarón, and I don't know what they were doing with it.
And as always, we're all ready. But I think we're done.
All right, should we get into this BAFTA stuff? An hour in.
Yeah.
Because I think this should go really fast once we start this.
All right, are we just going right into it?
Yes, take it home.
Well, I'd say it's pretty clear we're starting with Rising Star.
Okay.
The only publicly voted one, as I say every year.
Yeah, which means I have no fucking idea. I mean, I have a choice here, but I have no strategy or any idea or anything to base this on. But the people we're working with are Ariana DeBose, Harris Dickinson, Lashana Lynch, Millicent Simmons, and Kosin McPhee. The only person I wasn't considering was Lashana Lynch because people were bitching about her before the movie even came out because of her role, even though they didn't realize what it was. But that's, the internet for you. And the internet's more or less who we're asking, right?
Well, it's people with mobiles. It doesn't necessarily have to be internet.
Well, based on really nothing, like not even her status in the race right now, just literally based on nothing, I said Ariana DeBose.
Okay. What do you got, Ashley? British skew.
Because it's public popularity, and I don't know how enough people saw Kingsman, or Quiet Place Part 2, or Paranorman, or West Side Story. I'm actually going with Lashana Lynch.
And I guess I may end up eating my first L of this run and then go against both of you, and we're all picking something different because I'm going Melissa's take a shot. Let's take a shot, major pod. Anyway, Millicent Simmons. I think just looking at this, you're doing a it's gonna be a big night a big season for deaf actors and actresses, and I think that this is adding to it, honestly. And I think that's a really good thing that's going to happen throughout the rest of the season. And I think even the Rising Star, like you said, Ashley, you don't know how many people saw A Quiet Place or its sequel, but the fact that she was a part of both of them makes me think that if they did cling to it, it's a possibility that they're going to go with it. And Rising Star doesn't always have to be somebody that is older, just hasn't had any visibility yet, somebody that's just getting started. So, yeah, I think that makes sense to me.
All right. Just go through the shorts real quick.
But first, Josie says John Leguizamo better dress up as Bruno.
Considering what's coming out the end of the year, he better dress up as Luigi and say, "I'm going to do it better. I'm going to do it better than Charlie Day."
If Murphy Boy has a point. If Coda is so beloved, how come Marlee Matlin take a shot? How come Marlee Matlin wasn't nominated in supporting actress? I mean, I was trying to get that to happen, but it just didn't.
I don't feel like she's as impactful as the rest of the movie.
She really isn't.
Like, she doesn't leave the impression that Coates or Jones or anybody even does. Even Derbez leaves more of a impact than her, to be honest.
Ryan says, so how is this presenting? Lashana Lynch is going to be in the film adaptation of Matilda, the musical. That would kind of help visibility there, Brian. Didn't know that. I'm probably taking an L on this one.
Sure. And you do have a decent strategy for choosing her.
Plus, as well, she's also isn't she in Marvels?
Huh?
Isn't she in Marvels reprising her role for? Oh, I meant with Lashana Lynch.
Oh,
reprising her role from Captain Marvel. I think.
I think I was reading that maybe.
All right. Well, yeah. Since we've actually seen one of the animated shorts, we'll do a short film first. Where I'm not familiar with any of these, so this is just a random guess. From the Black Cop, the Palace, Stuffed, and 3 Meetings of the Extraordinary Committee. I'm just gonna say the Black Cop.
Ashley.
No, you next, because I want to tell you about the films afterwards, after your blind predictions, because it's eclectic.
That's fair. That's completely fair, Ashley. Tell us, please.
So, Black Cop is about a sort of part drama, part documentary about a black cop's experience policing in the 80s and 90s when the police was just as racist as some of the protesters and everything. Femme is a, I guess, non-binary guy that gets into a cab that turns out to be a big drug dealer.
Sounds fun.
The Palace is a documentary about the last days of a bingo hall shutting down.
EC dub.
No, it's more depressing than that.
No, it's not.
Stuffed is a 20-minute musical about a woman taxidermist who wants to stuff a human and finds somebody that doesn't want to get old, and he wants to be the candidate. And it is a full-on musical. Guess what I'm watching after we're done here? Because it's on Vimeo. And 3 Meetings of the Extraordinary Committee, which is about a little village voting on a mythical creature. Whether that mythical creature is real or not, I do not know. But it's also black and white, so it's basically a less serious Belfast, maybe? I don't know.
Are you going? Here you go.
I so want to say Stuffed. But I think it's probably going to go to Black Cop.
I was full disclosure, looking at it right now, it's the first thing that popped in my head. We've learned time in and time out, go with your first instinct. Sometimes that's bitten me. Sometimes it's paid off. I'm going to continue the list of everybody in the show and say the Black Hop.
Actually, no. I'm declaring a change. I'm actually going to go with Fem.
I should go with Fem based on the name. And sometimes when it comes to something I don't have any knowledge of, I would go with the name. But I can't.
They've all won awards or had high profile things in the UK though at various festivals, so it's not like there's an obvious standout, I would say.
Josie says, speaking of Matilda, I remember AJ said he had a crush on Miss Honey with a honey pie emoji.
That's very true.
Get Miss Honey to present, or Danny DeVito and Rhea Pullman. I don't know why that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Embeth Davis hasn't come back in like all these Spielberg movies we've been seeing. I don't think they've reunited yet.
All right.
The next one's easy.
Go ahead.
Was that it for the chat?
Yeah.
All right. For animated short, we have Affairs of the Art, Do Not Feed the Pigeons, and Night of the Living Dread. I feel like it's been a very reliable strategy to go with the Oscar nominee here. So, have you spoken on Affairs of the Art since you saw it?
Here?
Yeah.
No, we did last time because I remember Ashley said, and now this has been given a lot more attention than it will be during the Oscars.
I think it was me that said that.
I don't remember anymore, but it was said on the show.
That's right. You did go through all the shorts. Okay.
Because it was right after. It was literally the last show was literally right after I got back from doing the documentary short. But yeah, I talked about those, and I talked about shorts a while back too. So it's like, and then the live action one. So yeah, I concur. I don't like it. I don't ever want to see it again. But yeah, Affairs of the Art.
I'm guessing AJ, you said it as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Momentum. If they don't give it to fucking Affairs of the Art and then it by chance win the Oscars, they're gonna look bad. So I'm hoping they look bad.
Don't want that movie to win anything.
Do you want to do the Oddball Award next?
Sure.
I'm guessing you know what that one is, AJ.
No. Oh, go ahead.
The
What we're
casting.
talking about?
Start with casting because it's like the only one where casting even gets acknowledged.
Okay.
Really far up on here.
Very much far up on here. It's like towards the top ski.
It should be at the bottom. I know it's important and everything, but considering how nobody else has yet acknowledged it, I still see it as an also ran.
Alright, so casting. We have Boiling Point, Dune, The Hand of God, King Richard, and West Side Story. I looked at these a few days ago, and I thought of something to say for this category as to why I was choosing what I was choosing.
Okay.
I do not remember at all. But there was one. There was a really good reason. The two that made me like wonder were King Richard and West Side Story. But I landed on Boiling Point. Like I said, I had a really good reason that I just can't remember right now.
This is where I'm gonna say boiling point, but I wonder whether the fact that practically the same thing has already been made with a handful of the same cast might hurt it, but I still think it, all the casting in it is sort of pretty on the nose. I guess the issue with King Richard is, can you count Will Smith as casting considering he's actually a producer?
Yeah, I have
And
no idea what
basically he's
criteria
the
for this
one that
entirely.
made the film. So it's like who you cast around Will Smith, or like
So this award has only been a thing for 3 years now, and this is the third year.
yeah, and it's been eclectic because it went with Joker in year one, and then last year it went with Rocks. Rocks, of course, being the key thing is that most of them were not actors, but worked when you actually saw them on the screen. So, considering how there's a lot of people that like that in West Side Story, do they continue to go that way?
It's an interesting point, Josie. I'll get to that in a minute. Josie says, even better presenter idea, Bruce Campbell. Josie says, if Cumberbatch can win Best Actor, imagine they give casting to King Richard to make up for not giving the win to Will Smith. Boiling Point would be a great win. Stephen Graham is an incredible actor, and Vinette Robinson is wonderful. I don't know. Boiling Point jumped out at me the second that I saw this category. So, like I said before, don't go against your first instinct. But
Boiling Point's also a movie where this is always the case, but especially the filmmakers had to trust the cast.
right.
There's
It's
no
weird,
doubt
though.
some of that must have had to have been ad-libbed, because you can't get them to properly remember a whole sort of play script while they're also having to actually flambe stuff.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Dune here, because I'm seeing how much visibility Dune has in all of its categories. But looking at it, I don't think much.
Well, yeah, because there's also like just the kind of the Herald of the Change comes to mind in Dune. Like, who the hell? Where do you find a guy like that to be able to do that one specific thing as well as it can possibly be done?
I hope my next viewing of Dune is better than my first was. And I'm sure it will be, because usually the rewatches have helped everything greatly. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Boiling Point here. Might as well stick with my first instinct.
So no points will be lost. That's good.
Yep.
I almost said that for short film before I actually changed. So, I'll let you guys lead the way. Where are we going now? Debut?
Yeah, we can do that one, because we get the ones with the most British skew, because they're the British ones.
Makes sense.
Because I was trying to figure out where you wanted to do British film, if you wanted to do it like next or towards the end or what.
I want to do it now, because when we actually get to the ceremony, it'll be like midway through. Because they'll obviously want to skew it to a British audience that's watching, that are just going, can this shit finish? I want to watch the next episode of Peaky Blinders.
So you want to do British film, then debut, or debut, then British film?
I'd say debut, because of the way it's probably going to, or could build, given how it normally, sometimes you do get a spread. In terms of what happens, I think debut, then British, and then we'll do picture at the end.
For debut, we have After Love, Boiling Point, The Harder They Fall, Keyboard Fantasies, and Passing. There's some really good shit in here. And whatever Keyboard Fantasies is. Obviously, I want to say The Harder They Fall, and Boiling Point really stuck out to me, but it kind of feels obvious this would be After Love. That's what I'm saying.
That's annoying. Honestly, Rebecca Hall for Passing.
Ooh.
I've been thinking After Love since I saw this, just because of its visibility for the rest of the races. I see it sticking around more than most of the other movies nominated, so I feel that there's a reason for that, so I'm going to go with After Love as well.
Right. British film.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We have After Love, Ollie and Ava, Belfast, Boiling Point, Cyrano, everybody's talking about Jamie, House of Gucci, Last Night in Soho, No Time to Die, and Passing. It's obviously No Time to Die is really a possibility.
Yep.
And After Love is really a possibility, but I also feel like sometimes we tend to overthink this category.
Yes.
So based on that, I'm just gonna say Belfast.
I'm never getting a point this season.
You'll never get these.
Ashley, what
So
are you
I'm
going to go
guessing
with?
you're saying Belfast then,
I am saying Belfast,
because this is where I'm saying After Love.
but I'm not going to predict it.
Whoa!
But don't discount Last Night in Soho here.
I would say No Time to Die happened before Last Night in Soho would.
No Time to Die, definitely, for sure. So, I think we're good. Moving on.
We're probably just going in order now, aren't we?
Well, it looks like.
All right, the next one I have is visual effects. Oh my god. Well, this category is a bit of a disaster, isn't it?
Oh, boy.
We've got Dune, Free Guy, Ghostbusters, The Matrix, and No Time to Die. Whew, they got worse as they went. Besides No Time to Die.
I was gonna say.
Besides No Time to Die. I mean, I don't want to seem biased towards my favorite movie of the year, but I mean, is there literally a planet where this isn't Dune? I hope to God not. So I'm saying Dune. I mean, I feel like it's here especially we're gonna see a lot of Dune versus No Time to Die in text. Just like I think we'll have a similar problem with the Oscars, but with a different movie. But yeah, so I don't want to say like Dune for the text is like really easy for any of these, but for here in particular, I would like to think. I could see them doing something like really weird, potentially inspired, going with No Time to Die, but
This is annoying because it's really a case of visual CGI effects versus a lot of No Times to Die visual practical effects. So do you go with the computer or do you go with the big boom? Although some of the big booms were CGI. I'll go Dune. To me, it's a coin toss.
This is Dune.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't want to rush into it because I feel like No Time to Die can win anything it's nominated for. Realistically.
I'm trying to think. Do we find out tonight? Yes. Tonight is the Visual Effects Awards. Then again, No Time to Die isn't in them. So that doesn't help.
Oh my god. Okay, the next one I have is sound.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We have Dune, Last Night in Soho, No Time to Die, A Quiet Place 2, and West Side Story. Hey, we're back where we started. Is it Dune or is it No Time to Die? This one I could actually really see being No Time to Die. But I'm just really... I feel like it's hard... Two sides of my mind are battling. One side is saying it's really hard to bet against Dune in the tech categories, and the other side is literally saying it's really hard to bet against No Time to Die in the tech categories.
Fair.
I almost wonder if I should alternate? Or just go all in on one? What's to be done?
I mean, I wouldn't say alternate like directly. Don't just say, well, because I said it in the last one, I have to say, you know. I'm saying you don't
Yeah,
always have to say Dune. You can say No
Hey.
Time to Die for one of them. It doesn't have to literally be Dune, No Time to Die, Dune, No Time to
Yeah, strategized alternating.
Die.
That's what they call it.
I mean, I'm really feeling this could be No Time to Die, but I kind of just want to say Dune again. These I did not think through previously, if you couldn't tell.
I just first looked. This is the second time I've looked at him.
Let's go with No Time to Die for sound.
Never being another point. Ashley, what'd you go with?
Last Night in Soho.
I'm going No Time to Die.
I mean, I'm losing, so, you know, I'm going to go down with a ship. Just mainly because I think that's the only other nomination that Last Night in Soho has. That at least we're covering here. I'm amazed it didn't get it in costume.
Yeah, it's usually pretty easy to get into costumes when one of your characters is literally a fucking designer.
I was trying to think what the blooming. I was trying to think of the. Oh, can I find it? What the nominations were for the Hollywood Critics Association one, because they said like wannabe fashion designer, a wannabe fashion designer, a wannabe up and coming actor or whatever, which I guess was Tick Tick Boom. Something else that I can't remember, and Dune. It was like all the rest was fashion, and then it was and Dune. So
sounds likely.
All right, production design.
Yes.
Production design, we have Cyrano, Dune, The French Dispatch, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story. I know it should be winning this. It's that movie right there in the middle. I don't think Nightmare Alley should be underestimated in this category.
I wouldn't say so.
So now that we don't have Dune versus No Time to Die, I once again just want to say Dune immediately, but I can't stop looking at Nightmare Alley. I mean, it'd be great.
There
There
must be a reason why that and Dune won at the Art Directors Guild Awards.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always fun when they split up the categories just enough that it doesn't help prediction-wise at all. I would really like to think this could be a time where, like, The French Dispatch could get an unexpected spotlight. Because how do you watch The French Dispatch and not give it production design? I have no idea how that happens. But, I mean, I would say the same thing about Dune as well, though. I'm gonna go ahead and say Dune, but I really want to make it known how prominent Nightmare Alley is in this race.
Ashley.
Ooh. Sure. I'll go Dune as well. Although I'm honestly not sure. I think the only one that I want to say isn't going to win is probably Serrano.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a good bet.
But the other four, I could see any of them get it.
It has to account for something that you watch Dune and you just literally feel like you're on another planet. Like that does not nothing there feels like Earth.
I'm trying to have
It has
a
pictures of
quick
Earth.
look as whether production design has gone to sci-fi stuff before, at least in terms of BAFTA stuff, or maybe not ever before, but like in recent years. Mank, 1917, Favorite, Shape of Water, Fantastic Beasts, Mad Max, Grand Budapest. So, a few times.
All right, Josie says takes a lot of skill from the cast to maintain themselves in a single take. Brian says, speaking of Wes Anderson, possibly Asteroid City coming out this year.
Oh.
I'm not sure what the schedule is between that and the Roald Dahl thing. Which one's
Yeah.
first and which ones are in production. Well, Asteroid City is already made, is it? Or or like filming? I have no idea.
So this is the time that AJ's going to either jump ahead or I'm going to get a surprise win here. This is the one time that I'm going to go with my heart here. I'm going to go with French Dispatch. Because Stockhausen won for Grand Budapest. So
Yeah, and like it's one of those cases where like it's not Oscar nominated, but it winning here would make perfect sense. I would not even question it.
not one bit. I mean, I'm looking to see what has won in the past, and there's a lot of names that I keep seeing show up. I mean, the last time Stockhausen has been nominated was Bridge of Spies, and that's been forever ago. It was 2015, so would not be shocked to see Grand Budapest win be leading to the win for French Dispatch.
All right, the next one I have is Score.
He needs to win something.
All right, we have Being the Recorders for some reason. Don't Look Up, Dune, The French Dispatch, and The Power of the Dog. I mean, I would say Greenwood is a threat.
Yep.
But I mean, everything you hear about this whole season seems to be pointing at Zimmer. When the Academy was like, no, fuck tech categories. They're pieces of shit now. We don't care about them. The first thing people said was, I want to see Zimmer win again. So, yeah, once again, I don't want to jump to Dune immediately without hesitation, but I think that's what I'm going to go with.
Okay. Ashley.
I'm trying to. Wow. That's probably. Why the fuck hasn't that not been added to his blooming. Like, anything on his BAFTA pay? Zimmer's never won a BAFTA.
Okay, so I'm definitely going with that.
So he's been nominated for Thelma and Louise, Lion King, Gladiator, Dark Knight, Inception, 12 Years a Slave, Interstellar, Blade Runner, and Dunkirk.
I'm curious who beat him in '94 then.
Let's have a quick look at, because that's when it was known as the Anthony Asquith Award. Because the hell. Backbeat. The Beatles one. Beat out Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and Four Weddings and the Funeral, along with Lion King. And you know what won in 91, right? Cyrano de Bergerac. It was not Dances with Wolves. All over the place. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with Zimmer. Mainly because they also want to put No Time to Die in it.
You know, again, he's won before, can win again. I say that about a lot of people in this category. Zimmer's probably a good bet. He's never won a BAFTA. He still won't. That's the bluff.
It's interesting gambles you're taking.
Yep.
For our beloved French Dispatch.
I have to do something.
To be fair, neither is Greenwood. Greenwood didn't even get nominated for There Will Be Blood.
Nope.
Got
That's
it for
wild.
Phantom Thread. But I think that's it.
Yeah, that's all I can see was Phantom Thread. Can't wait for Asteroid City, one of my most anticipated of 2022, next to Yorgos Lanthimos' new film, The Fablemans, and nope.
Wait, what? Oh, of course, I'm looking too far back. 2007. He did get nominated.
So,
lost to Levine Rose that year.
I still want confirmation, Josie, that Nope stands for Not of Planet Earth. I love that theory.
I thought Nope is what you got when you got merged Noah Dupé's name. Nope.
Comedy, for one, is still comedy. Continue.
Makeup.
This is a tough one.
Anybody have a three-sided coin by any chance?
Yeah, nice.
I mean, I've got the Inception one that hasn't stopped spinning, so I don't know what the shit's going on.
We've got Cruella, Cyrano, Dune, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and House of Gucci. Yeah, it's like I was saying, we were having the Coming to America Colin Farrell discussion. Usually this category has one thing that's just obvious throughout. And in any other year, Dune, Tammy Faye, or House of Gucci would be that movie.
Nope. Not here. I know exactly what you're about to say.
Well, I didn't have anything in mind ahead of time. So, this, God. I mean, the easy, once again, as we've been saying the whole time, the easy choice is Dune. Because it's like when you've got something as specific as like you could say the makeup in the whole movies for all of these, but there's always one specific thing that you're looking at. Like, you know, Killer Croc in Suicide Squad, or Charlize in Bombshell, or Oldman in Darkest Hour, or whatever. You look at Tammy Faye, you're looking at Chastain, and you look at House of Gucci, you're looking at Leto. But there's also the case of like Dune, where you could look at Stellan Skarsgård, but you also just kind of associate tech juggernauts in general with it's just kind of a general thing. And you're not necessarily just looking at Skarsgård the way you are Leto or Chastain, which is why I say Dune would be the easy one.
Also, there was a fair bit of makeup on Batista as well.
Yeah.
And prosthetics, so.
So, I mean, I was oh god. For some, I don't know why. This would not be my Oscar pick. I'll say that. But for some reason, here I was leaning towards House of Gucci. I don't know what's making my mind do that. But once again, you know, when Dune's here as the easy option, why wouldn't you? And that's been my whole thing this season, and it's just kind of playing it safe and seeing what happens.
All right.
So I think I'm just gonna stick with Dune, but House of Gucci would have been my second choice.
Okay. What do you got, Ashley?
I'm gonna say Dune as well. But there's something annoying me, which I think I'm gonna have to right the wrong here when it comes to one of the other categories.
Okay. French Dispatch is now on Hulu and HBO Max. Says Brian, speaking of makeup, do you think the Academy next year will have Ben Stiller present the Avatar makeup again?
I still can't tell if that bit was hilarious or embarrassing. Somewhere in between.
Or both. Yeah, exactly. Why not both?
Because he says, wouldn't have thought of that nope standing for that, Owen. Yeah, it didn't come to my mind until Twitter brought it to my attention. I'm going with Cruella here.
That's random. I mean, it got a guild win, but I'm curious what your reasoning is.
I got some weird suspicion that, like, it's the surprise, not really necessarily a surprise at this point. It's the one that's people are not thinking about, and it's the one that's going to win.
Wait, which one?
Cruella.
Right.
I might as well just throw the rest of the sword show away anyway.
Now I feel less bad about what might be next.
All right. Seems too early. Let's go up to costumes.
Phew.
We'll do costumes, then animated documentary 4, and then we'll come back to editing, cinematography, and the big 8.
All right.
Uh-oh. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Oh, is my internet gone? Okay. Hold on, everybody. Just gonna mute everything. Watch this. I don't know. Let's bring the donkey here while I get working on what's happened. Switch regions. Let's switch back. For some reason, the East server just died, guys. So unmute you guys again. Switch back. Go back. Don't know what happened there. Technical difficulties, I guess. The donkey with headphones is the technical difficulties because he's a sound guy. What's going on, mate? It's all gone wrong. So yeah, costume design.
All right. Where the fuck it? Okay. Cruella, Cyrano, Dune, The French Dispatch, and Nightmare Alley. So we always say it's going to be the movie that is about costumes, and Disney has a really good track record with this category.
Yep.
So I'll say Cruella.
God damn it, I thought it was going to be the only different one because I thought the Dune thing was going to continue here. So me now saying Cruella just seems a bit... Oh, I'm jumping on the bandwagon.
Okay, now I'm shoot confused. Did we just do makeup and hair?
Yeah.
Previously, yeah.
Yeah, I was reading the categories since they're almost identical, and I thought that we were doing costume design.
Oh. Okay, so what one makeup and
You
hair
and
for real? Or are you still going with Cruella?
No, I'm not going with Cruella.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
I was confused. Sorry. Because I was looking at the categories. I was like, oh, Cruella for sure for costume design without question. That's what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about that for makeup and hair.
I was wondering, it's like, wow, he's in such a gambling mood tonight.
I'm going with House of Gucci for makeup and hair.
He's still gambling.
I don't want to see you drink, Ashley. I really don't.
Hey, the drink is only on the line for one man and one man only.
Exactly.
Nobody else. Bloody Tommy Wiseau WeWork edition.
All right, now I feel more comfortable. Next.
Should we do animated?
Sure.
All right. For animated, we have Encanto, Flea, Luca, and Mitchell vs. the Machines. Does anybody else have the feeling that Flea could win one of its categories? Just in general this season.
I mean, I personally don't want it to, but yeah, for sure.
And I feel like this one in particular, like, I feel like if Flea was going to win any of its three, like, Oscar-wise, documentary would be where it would upset.
Yeah, for sure.
So I have this down to, it feels like it's been this battle between Encanto and the Mitchells versus the Machines.
Yep, same here.
And the thing is usually it's like the Oscars are the ones that are devoted to Disney, whereas the other shows will go elsewhere.
Right.
So that had me leaning towards Mitchells versus the Machines, but I feel like Encanto's kind of really shifted momentum lately to where I can't imagine Encanto losing.
Nope.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think so.
I mean, the fact that we don't talk about Bruno got #1 over here, not just in the American Billboard chart, probably
Well,
says
the
a
song
lot.
during award, apparently the song during award season is we don't talk about Luca. So a part of me wants to say that Mitchell versus the Machines here specifically, but I'm kind of feeling we'll just see Encanto the rest of the time now. As wrong as I feel like I could be, I'm gonna go ahead and say Encanto here.
Ashley, are you concur?
I'm pretty sure it isn't going to be Flea because previous history of not children's films is none in this category. Walter Bashir was nominated, didn't win. Loving Vincent was nominated, didn't win. All losing to, I think, Disney. Double check. Yeah, Walter Bashir and Persepolis lost to Wally. And Loving Vincent and My Life as a Courgette lost to Coco. So, you know, they lose to Disney, which of course means I'm going Mitchells versus the Machines. I think there's just something with that actually might catch the British eye more. In all honesty, I could certainly see them just sort of continuing the trend and going with Encanto, but BAFTA does like to do something left field occasionally, and I think, hell, let's give an award to Netflix.
I'm looking at the previous winners from, thank God this category only started in 2006. And I'm seeing the only time they kind of went somewhat inspired was when Klaus won in 2019.
Well, no, Kubo. Never forget Kubo.
Dude, I consider Kubo a front-runner contender.
Yeah, but
I love
when Kubo was up against Moana and Zootopia,
Yeah, I feel
which
like
I really rate as well.
yeah, because I feel like apart from BAFTA, Zootopia never lost anywhere, pretty much.
Yeah, that was a mistake. I hated that movie because of actually I hated that movie because of Travis, honestly, because that stupid sloth stuff it just got really old really fast. Yeah, and like AJ said, this is a time that we could have an upset here. It's like it's not out of the realm of possibility. But then again, if you want to go that way, last year Wolfwalker should have won instead of Soul, and Soul still won. Just like I can see Encanto still winning here.
God, was Wolfwalkers only last year?
Yep,
I felt like that was a few years ago.
2020, a 2020 awards season. It actually did come out in 2020. Yeah, according to this. All right.
So, sorry,
chat.
which one was it, Owen? Encanto or?
I said Encanto.
Okay. So
Brian.
I just remembered that Mitchell's versus the Machines technically isn't, because Sony brought it out on DVD, so it's not actually Netflix.
Brian
Bizarre.
says no Ashley. No Ashley bringing the yak.
Oh,
Hey,
hold on.
Zootopia is a piece. No, I'm not a
Yakety
fan.
Yak is back.
Dude, I just can't get into it. I'm sorry. It's like there's certain things that have been ruined for me forever because of other people's involvements in personal ways and non-personal ways. And Zootopia, or as Ashley like to put over so much, I love the British name of it being Zootropolis, is one of them. Josie says the red shoes. I love the emoticons, Josie. It's over with me. It's literally a red high heeled shoe and point shoes right next to it. Some of the best costume design of all time. I recently watched a film, The Court Jester, starring Danny Kaye, Glynis Johns, Angela Lansbury, and Basil Rathbone. I can see Flea upsetting in any category given what's going on in Ukraine. Take a shot in Ukraine right now.
I love how you make Basil Rathbone sound like a plant. Basil Rathbone.
Yes. Sorry, I was just marking out the fact that that a Batman villain is actually on there. Lady Penelope from the 3-part episode where they went to the UK.
When you say Lady Penelope, I don't think of fucking Batman.
I do.
Thunderbirds are go.
I am a random gaijin, good sir.
I am a random Super Mario Nation.
And I am starting right now. Next on the hit parade.
Documentary.
How have we missed cinematography?
What's that?
How have we missed cinematography? Why wasn't that like the board categories earlier?
That's what
the Big Ten.
Yeah, we're sticking that with editing.
I don't understand why, but okay, go ahead. Documentary.
The Big Ten, dude. The Big Ten. How long have we been doing this?
Don't say the Big 12, otherwise ABC will get wise and go, oh, wait, that's a good idea.
I tried.
We'll do documentary since 4 and it'll take 2 seconds.
Shoot.
For documentary, we have Becoming Cousteau, Cal, Flea, The Rescue, and Summer of Soul. I mean, this could be The Rescue's redemption, but I honestly wasn't even really going in that direction. It was really just, is it Summer of Soul, or, could Flea, surprise or upset?
Right.
If I remember correctly, when documentary upsets happen, it's usually not until the Oscars. Am I remembering that right?
More often than not.
So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with Summer of Soul.
Okay.
Ooh. do like to go with different stuff, though.
I'm reading this right now. I was looking at the 2010s alone.
Yeah. You know, Forsama snubbing out American Factory and Apollo 11 and Diego Maradona, and they're not even nominated, you know, Won't You Be My Neighbor. And I'm Not Your Negro taking out Icarus and City of Ghosts. It's between the two. I'll go with Flea. Because I don't know.
What else? Okay. No one's responding in chat. Yeah. Tough. It's not. I'd say you're definitely right, 100% when it comes to upsets happening at the Oscars, especially in documentary. Things you're not expecting come out of nowhere and win, especially things that are not even visible the whole season. It's like, oh, by the way, this is what wins. What? That happened? Okay. Yeah, Questlove's getting a BAFTA. And I'm all about it.
All right. Just real quick, for film not in the English language, we have Drive My Car, The Hand of God, Parallel Mothers, Fatima Mon, and The Worst Person in the World. It's Drive My Car, obviously. Anybody else?
Ashley?
I mean, I'm saying Drive My Car, but I am just wondering whether Worst Person in the World does have a chance. I don't, you know, I'd love it to be Petite Maman, but there is already history with her winning because I'm pretty sure Portrait of a Lady on Fire won 2 years ago. I would have thought. Or was it up against Parasite, so it was screwed? Or was it one of those times when it was the year after? Oh yeah, it got screwed because it was Parasite.
Yeah, it jobbed Parasite.
I'm still going with it, but I'm just wondering. It'd be very good momentum, at least in terms of BAFTA, if it did win, because I know Worst Person in the World is getting like preview screenings like on Tuesday or Wednesday ahead of its opening, I guess, next week. But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
I'll stick with Drive My Car.
In the entire duration of this category, Japan's only been nominated once for Shoplifters.
Which was a damn good film in itself.
And job to Roma.
I still enjoyed Roma, you know, but...
Oh, Lord. Brian says, speaking of international feature, we already have a winner for next year's Mexico's Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, Inarritu's new movie.
Oh, yeah.
Best Picture, Director, Original Screenplay, Acting categories to be determined. Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of the year. Can't wait to see it again in about 11 days. Yeah, I love it. I'm very happy it's going to win. Drive My Car. Even though there's Twitter's trying to sell me that it's that Worst Person in the World is better. I'm like, you're entitled to your opinion, but you're totally wrong.
All right, editing.
Yeah.
Wow, we've only got one Oscar nominee here. Okay. That might have made a decision for me, but not in the way it seems. For editing, we have Belfast, Dune, Licorice Pizza, No Time to Die, and Summer of Soul. I actually feel like because Dune is the only one that's an Oscar nominee here means that it's likely to lose.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
Rather than the most obvious win. Am I actually, it's funny you brought up, I rewatched Lebowski recently. So I've been saying, am I wrong so many times. Unconsciously.
Dude, I make those references constantly. Everybody around me knows this.
So, yeah, so Dune is not a shoe-in here. Am I wrong?
No, no, Walter, you're not.
So, because of where we are, um, honestly, the thing that's pulling me away from Dune is because No Time to Die is here.
Dang you.
I mean, I could see them saying, you know, out of nowhere, here's Summer of Soul. But, I think I'm gonna say No Time to Die.
Ashley.
That's annoying because yeah, I'll say No Time to Die as well. But I want to say Licorice Pizza. That's the annoying one.
Same.
That's the annoying one.
That's the only right answer, and I don't really care at this point because anything gets nominated for it should be winning. But that's not a world that we live in. So, you know, Summer of Soul jumped out at me immediately because of its visibility in other places. And the fact that even though it's only one category, getting editing is a big deal. Belfast is a possibility as well, especially given its chance of winning picture here. My heart's with Licorice Pizza, but it's not here. Dune pretty much cancels itself out because of the fact that it's the only Oscar nominee. So yeah, at the end of the day, there really is only one choice. No Time to Die.
Now, let it be known. Let it be known. It is also very likely Dune could win.
Yeah, totally.
Based on the fact it's the only
coming
option. Yeah, but yeah. So there's a movie. Before we go into the big nine, there's a movie I want to talk about. What do we, I mean? Once again, I don't want to jump the gun, but this is something that we've been talking about. Well, we've been talking about it since SAG, and like I said, I don't want to make it sound like I'm convinced something drastic is happening or not happening.
Mm.
It's just when you look at what's been happening, it's very interesting. Where exactly is the power of the dog right now?
Yeah, it depends on who
Power
you
of the
ask.
dog. The power of the dog is taking so many losses.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's like as long as you have above the line categories, like how like we talked about Spotlight only needing original screenplay.
Right.
One that doesn't come up enough. Fucking Nomadland. Nomadland had picture, director, actress. That's it. It lost the one it seemed like one of the biggest frontrunners for in cinematography.
Right.
Like you would assume if Nomadland lost cinematography like it did, that that picture win wasn't going to happen. So Power of the Dog could lose all this stuff despite its 12 nominations, but as long as it gets Campion, it can still win.
This is correct. 100%.
So,
This is correct.
so, and obviously, not only is Power of the Dog taking a lot of tech losses, it pretty much just lost its supporting actor frontrunner recently.
100%.
So, really, my question at the end of the day is, what's up with Power of the Dog? Is like because Campion doesn't seem to have been swayed yet.
No.
And we're all under the assumption Campion's getting DGA, right?
I think, yeah, we all went with her.
So,
not what I want. That's what's going to happen.
And I would say the thing that's gonna, solidify Power of the Dog is a PGA win, but then I start thinking about 1917, and I don't know what to do anymore. So so at the end of the day, my question is, I'm very curious where Power of the Dog is exactly.
Because you mentioned Cody Smith McPhee, which is kind of becoming, I say right at this moment, losing front-runner status. Cumberbatch is a real challenger here. But if he doesn't win here, it's over, honestly. He's not taking the Oscar without BAFTA, and I can honestly see that happening.
And then we got Maggie Gyllenhaal taking USC scripter.
That's the deal as well, which means that Campion may not automatically get the screenplay when everybody thinks she was going to.
USC scripter doesn't have the flawless reputation it once had,
right?
But it's still a big indicator for adapted.
This is also true.
So that's how I want to approach the big nine here. Is Power of the Dog going to come back in a big way? But then at the same time, with the Revenant and 3 Billboards and stuff, we've seen movies conquer BAFTA and lose.
Yep, totally.
If anything, if BAFTA has been strengthening anything lately, it's the acting categories, where BAFTA has seemed stronger than SAG for the past few years. So, yeah, with that in mind, let's go into cinematography.
But first, can we go in and chat real quick?
Yeah.
Celine Sciamma was one of the writers for My Life is a Zucchini. Josie says still heartbroken over Licorice Pizza getting snubbed for the editing at the Oscars. After seeing Drive My Car, that's not being nominated for editing hurts even more because the editing is what helps the 3 hours fly by. Yes. If you can captivate me for 3 hours and get me to stay awake, you've done a great job as a director.
Hi, Matt Reeves.
That's a shoot, 100%. Brian, yeah, the 9 hours I've spent watching that movie now.
Exactly.
Brian said,
soon to be 50.
Luca, that's also a shoot. Luca Guadagnino. What? How's that said again? Yeah, okay. Dagnino, okay. Has a new movie with Bones and all working with Chalamet and Stolberg. Baumbach is adapting White Noise, which is a novel with Adam Driver. Don Cheadle, Tony's Fire's agent. And AJ and Josie's favorite, Greta Gerwig, a.k.a. Baumbach's girlfriend. Yeah, not a Baumbach or Gerwig fan, says Josie. AJ took the words right out of my mouth with Scripter. Yeah, I think Maggie Gyllenhaal is a contender now. And I'm happy to say that. Down with Campion. Is
this where I get your reaction to the spirits jumping on the bandwagon and just giving Lost Daughter everything?
I approve. I greatly approve. Movie's great. But first, we have to go into cinematography.
Okay, for cinematography, we have Dune, Nightmare Alley, No Time to Die, Power of the Dog, and Macbeth. I do not, between this and the Oscars, I do not get the Belfast snubs here.
This makes no sense. Belfast isn't here.
Okay, so I was telling you, Owen off camera, I was telling you, and then we were talking about it in production design. This is another place where I wouldn't count out Nightmare Alley.
Not at all. Here especially.
Yeah, it could be being underestimated. We know what I would choose.
Obviously.
I'm sure the odds are low, so I won't worry about it. So once again, that brings us back to Dune again. So, and this, so, oh yeah, that whole, the whole thing that started off that whole Power of the Dog conversation was, yeah, Power of the Dog's always an option here as well.
Yeah.
So it's, I feel like I have it down to Dune, Power of the Dog, and Nightmare Alley.
Sounds about right.
Because Macbeth is here, but there is no God. So, because I don't even know where to start with this. Because, like, if I pick one, I have no idea why I would pick it over the others.
Yep, I can see that completely.
I don't think the power to say this about a movie that feels so like kind of sweeping in nature. I feel like Power of the Dog isn't as obvious. It's like with when you watch Dune and you watch Nightmare Alley, you see scenes and you're like, oh, that's a cinematography one waiting to happen. there's like you get like the mountain shots in Power of the Dog, but like I said, they're not. As I don't want to call them subtle necessarily, but they're more subtle than shots like in Dune and Nightmare Alley.
Let me piggyback off that. When I went to the theater in LA, I saw they gave us like special gimmicks that they had the movie posters and things like that. One of them was Power of the Dog images, kind of like you see like put on the screen for like some of the cinematography shots, and just seeing those, and then watching the movie again recently, it's like I see 100% why it's here. Still don't know why Belfast isn't here, but that's another story for another time.
Yeah, because it's really easy to look at this and say, what are the specific shots that make you think that? Because this is something especially fucking Twitter does, is they'll post like 4 screenshots and then just caption it cinematography.
Yeah, I hate that.
The camera movement is a big deal as well, taking this into account, but that doesn't really. I mean, I haven't seen these. Like Dune and Power of the Dog are the ones I've seen the most. I haven't seen Nightmare Alley since the theater. I started on HBO Max the other day and kind of tuned out quickly. I will get another full viewing of it before the show.
Are
But
you watching black and white at all?
what's that?
Are you watching in black and white at all?
I haven't.
I won't lie, honestly, with everything, it helps. Doesn't make it good,
Oh.
but I mean, I see why.
It's a parasite.
When it's in black and white, it's a lot more impactful.
It's a parasite. In that respect.
That's fair.
And with all that being said, I feel like when you take into account all these in this category, it does come down to imagery as opposed to movement,
right?
As far as what's standing out. But oh my god, I don't know. I mean, you could always fall back on No Time to Die, but I kind of feel like this is a. I mean, there's obviously certain shots, but I feel like it's kind of a weird nomination here. Except the only thing that's not weird about it is that it's BAFTA.
That's fair.
And a part of me just wants to, burn the house down and say Macbeth.
Fair. I've already went all in on French Dispatch, so.
But I'm sure I don't think they'll go that inspired. I imagine it'll be. Unless they start to go in hard on Power of the Dog at the last minute, I feel like I've got it down to Dune and Nightmare Alley.
Same.
Actually, I think I'm gonna say Dune because I feel like Nightmare Alley would be more of an Oscar move. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say Dune, I guess.
Ashley.
Power of the Doog.
I'm going with Nightmare Alley.
And now.
Did we finally have we completely split yet, or is that the first time?
I think it's probably happened, but
I mean, we totally split on Rising Star,
right.
but on the other categories, yeah, it's the first time that we've all gone through different answers.
I may regret that, but I mean, I do see where you're coming from, AJ. And honestly, Nightmare Alley is probably going to. I can't say for a fact, but I mean, it's strongly considered one of my Oscar picks just because of that. But I mean, I haven't made my decision yet. Josie says I hold a little bit of pause with Campion winning DGA, though she most likely will at the end of the day because they're not friendliest towards women. Let's just say.
My question is, if Campion does not win DGA, who is?
Who's our challengers again?
We got Branagh, we got Villeneuve, we got PTA, and
Feynman.
Spielberg. No,
You're
not
correct.
Spielberg. Spielberg. Yes, yeah, right?
Yeah, that's why I said Feynman. That's why I said Feynman.
Yeah, it's the Oscar lineup, just Villeneuve instead of Hamaguchi, is what DGA is.
Honestly, I really wanted to be PTA.
Of course you do.
And I didn't go with it, obviously, because I didn't want to take that big of a gamble. But I mean, if Campion's not gonna win, the next possible option is probably gonna be Branagh. I would think, unless they want to go inspired and go with Spielberg.
Inspired will be Villeneuve.
Denny could possibly win. It's very possible.
Villeneuve winning would be a very nice Affleck win of what the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah, it would fit very well with that weird When I Have It winning for screenplay, which I really kick myself for going with now. Boost more visibility for Dune in the rest of the categories. Josie says the Drive My Car cinematography is gorgeous. That bridge shot, boardwalk shot, the hands of the cigarettes, man, those shots gave me chills. Indeed. Some say Greg Fraser's cinematography in The Batman could help his narrative for Oscar for Dune.
Just like what you were saying earlier with next year and the makeup thing.
Yeah. After watching some of Hamaguchi's other films, Happy Hour, Asako, and Wheel of Fortune and Fantasy, I noticed he's really good at making intimacy feel epic on screen with the way his films are shot. Josie says, PTA, please. Yes, indeed. 100%. Make it happen. Will it into existence? Next.
All right. Are we in the Big Eight now?
That's what it appears to be.
All right. This could really shake the races up, but I'm going to be so boring and so predictable. Are we ready?
Go ahead.
For adapted, we have Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, The Lost Daughter, and Power of the Dog, the Oscar lineup.
Yep.
So Maggie Gyllenhaal has really taken the reins lately.
Yep.
I kind of feel like we're going to get the race back onto a more, not on like, an obvious path, but giving us a race rather than taking one thing and giving it more momentum. So I'm going to come back to Power of the Dog here.
Okay.
And feel like they might kind of start going hard for it in the last, going in on it hard, but also, yes, going hard for it, depending on how you take that, in the Power of the Dog direction in the Big Eight. So.
Ashley.
Which one did you say, AJ?
Power of the Dog.
Okay, I say Coda.
I want that to happen greatly. Do I think it will? Not necessarily, but it'd be nice. We're gonna split again. I'm going with The Lost Daughter.
Yeah, because post-SAG, people are talking about this possibility of Coda winning picture. And it's like, if it's going to do that, it could probably run in there with Coates after, like, what we were saying, how, when you look at, like, Spotlight and Nomadland, you don't need a lot of wins to win picture now.
No.
But I feel like if Coda's going to head in that direction, we'll see it early, and it would take this Oscar-wise. So, that's definitely there. So definitely one of us is getting a point here. And it'll be really very interesting to see which one it is.
Being that.
This one takes a little more thought.
So
What's that?
Because I was checking on some news on the thing. I'm guessing you went with Lost Daughter then, Owen?
Yes, I did.
Right.
Are we ready for original?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we sure? We have Being the Ricardos, Belfast, Don't Look Up, King Richard, and Licorice Pizza. So this is down to 2, right?
Yep.
It's down to 2 here. It's down to 2 at WGA. It's down to 2 at Oscar. It's down to 2 everywhere. I'm here. I've still not decided yet. But here, I don't even remember what I said for WGA. It's that up in the air.
I think we all went with PK.
Here I'm gonna say Branagh.
Ashley.
British skew. Branagh.
I'm going with PK.
They did seem to like Licorice Pizza more than Oscar did.
Yeah.
Is that just is that just the added nomination? Even so, that's more than. Oh no, Heim, yeah.
That's a big deal right there.
All right. Um. Yeah. So we're in acting categories already.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm not gonna be adventurous here. Uh, for supporting actors, we have Katrina Bell for Belfast, Jessie Buckley for The Lost Daughter, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, Ann Dowd for Mass, Ingenue Ellis for King Richard, and Ruth Negga for Passing. Not being derailed anytime soon. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with DeBose as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if like Balfour Buckley just steals it completely
Same.
unexpectedly.
Let's see. Josie says, "Want Drive My Car to win adapted screenplay, especially since Murakami is hard to adapt." Yeah, I don't want to go with this. This is not This is not what I want to happen. But I can say that a lot about the rest of these categories. Yeah, this is DeBose. If she loses anything else, I'd be surprised at this point.
Yeah,
Even though,
what were we saying?
even though they did the Oscar luncheon the other day, and apparently the biggest pop went to Ellis.
Interesting.
She might be more in this than people think she is.
Well, with the way King Richard won't stop overperforming, it wouldn't be surprised.
I
It's
almost went
everywhere.
with Ellis here, but I don't know what the BAFTA voters would think of the movie. Even though we'll get to that in a little bit.
I was gonna make one more comment on Josie's comment there, where
Yeah.
and not only is he hard to adapt, but the fact that it's from multiple sources also is pretty impressive.
Fair.
All right, supporting actor.
Should we get to the quick one?
Yep.
We got Mike Weiss for West Side Story, Kieran Hines for Belfast, Troy Coates for Coda, Woody Norman for Come On, Come On, and Jesse Plemons and Casey McPhee for The Power of the Dog. I mean, I could see them maybe going back to Casey McPhee, but like we were saying, once you've got momentum, that's the way it goes. Once the race shifts, yeah. So I'm guessing this coach I think is going to go towards the end, till the end.
Ashley, what do you got?
Troy all the way.
Yeah, I love this performance, and I'm very happy to see that it's going to be Oscar winning very soon.
Wow, there were so many exciting discussions before, and now they're just now that we're here at the big ones, that's all gone.
Then we've got this next one coming up.
Yep, Best Actress with no Oscar nominees in it. Did I read that's the first time that's ever happened?
I would have thought so. With zero nominees.
Are we ready to go into these?
Yeah.
We have Lady Gaga for House of Gucci, Alana Haim for Licorice Pizza, Amelia Jones for Coda, Renana Renza for The Worst Person in the World, Joanna Scanlon for After Love, and Tessa Thompson for Passing. People are really, 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 really trying to make Gaga happen.
Yep.
Jones and Scanlon have home court advantage, and we're honestly who I narrowed it down to. I'm not really into this Gaga thing. And I landed on Amelia Jones.
Ashley.
Other side of the British coin, I went with Joanna Scanlon.
I want to go with Haim just go with my heart instead of my head, and there's a reason she's there, and she deserves to be there. After Love did really well. And I mean, there's so many nominations for it, so I can see why Scanlon could possibly get this, but that Coda train keeps chugging along. And that British skew is there here too. So yeah, I'm going to Amelia Jones as well. But Worst Person in the World also has had a lot of visibility too. And this is a actress performance that a lot of people want to see happen. And this might be the chance for it to happen.
That's
going to. But
with all of them being non-Oscar nominees, it feels like they all have the same amount of likelihood.
I think Coda's got all the visibility in the world right now, and I think Amelia Jones is going to take this. But Alana Haim winning this would make me super happy.
Actor?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
We have Adil Akhtar for Ali and Ava, Marsha Ali for Swan Song, Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog, DiCaprio for Don't Look Up, Stephen Graham for Boiling Point, and Will Smith for King Richard. I've been saying the same thing all season. I went with Will Smith for Globe, and he got that. I went with Will Smith for SAG, and he got that. I'm going to say Cumberbatch here. And we're going to have a serious race on our hands by the time Oscar night gets here.
Ashley?
I think they're going to give it to Cumberbatch as well.
Will Smith has never been nominated. This is the performance that everybody loves. I don't know what the BAFTA voters think about King Richard, but obviously, again, overperforming. And I really can see Cumberbatch winning this. As a matter of fact, it might be, weirdly enough, might be the only win that Power of the Dog gets all night. Potential. But I'm not Will Smith here. I think he's that strong, and I think he's going to win. I want Andrew Garfield to win Best Actor. He's not here. He's not winning the Oscar. But Will Smith has more visibility than anybody. And even with British skew aside, I think he takes this and gives another shot to Power of the Dog in the way that it's losing more momentum every single night. Every single award show, it's losing more. This could bring it right back up again, but it might not. So I've been thinking about Benedict Cumberbatch this whole time, but at the end of the day, I'm going to keep Will Smith. I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm going to go with it.
Well, if you're right, he better show up.
I would say. Unless they go like Stephen Graham.
That'll be good momentum for him because I'm pretty sure he's currently in Peaky Blinders. I lose track of how many people are in that because like everybody's been in it.
I may regret that, but it just seems right.
Are we doing anything chat-wise, or are we going to director?
I don't think we have anything chat. We don't have anything chat-wise.
All right, let's do this.
Take it home.
I don't know about you guys, but I'll be doing this pretty quickly.
Probably.
For director, we have PTA for Licorice Pizza, Jane Campion for Power of the Dog, Audrey DeWong for Happening, Julia Ducournau for Titan, Suki Yamaguchi for Drive My Car, and Aline Khan for After Love. Who's got the balls to not say Campion, because I don't.
Yeah, carry on, Campion.
I don't want, but it's something that's a foregone conclusion at this point. I feel, though, she has competitors when it comes to adapted screenplay. I don't think so with director.
Like we were saying, the closer we get to the top, just the more clear and obvious we get. All right. Shall we go into their interesting picture lineup?
Very strange, and I don't understand it.
We have Belfast. Don't Look Up. They really love Adam McKay for some reason.
True.
Dune, Licorice Pizza, and Power of the Dog. I mean, like we were saying, a BAFTA win here does not necessarily mean you've conquered the season.
Not at all, especially here.
So, with many, many things in mind, I'm going to stick to Power of the Dog here, but we'll see if, well, I was gonna say, we'll see if, PGA wants to shake it up, but then, like we were saying, 1917 feels so recent in regards to even PGA throwing us something that doesn't work out, but yeah, for now, I'm going to stick with this Power of the Dog thing until, if something's going to derail it, what that's going to be exactly. And this obviously this goes into the whole, even if it gets wiped out of all of its billion tech nominations for Power of the Dog, it could be above the line categories that save it. Even if not all the ones it was initially expected for, it could still get there, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. Ashley.
I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? I haven't mentioned it in the previous ones. So, I'm going Belfast.
Fair. Josie says, if Haim wins, it could build Licorice Pizza's momentum for original screenplay. Haim and a Best Film nominee at BAFTA, after all. Very true. Licorice Pizza, the only film at BAFTA to get acting, directing, writing, and editing nominations. Supposedly at the luncheon, some of the biggest applause for Smith and Ellis, Spielberg, DeBose, Coates and PCA. We'll have to wait till see what the Oscars upload their class photo video on their YouTube channel, says Brian. I want to be really inspired and go Licorice Pizza here, but I can't as much as I want to. If this is its big win, if BAFTA is the big night for Licorice Pizza and I'm wrong, I'm going to be happy. Never have I been wrong. Don't doubt Dune here. Ashley's definitely right with going with Belfast. AJ's definitely right with going Power of the Dog. Don't Look Up is just glad to be nominated.
Don't Look Up was just surprised to be nominated, really.
I went against Cumberbatch, and I went against Campion when it came to screenplay. But I kept it in director, and I feel that I'm going to keep it in picture. Power of the Dog. Not what I want, but what's going to happen. And again, to the person that posted and said, you like Power of the Dog. I do. I just want a race, and we don't got one. Not really. We do. Is it fabricated? We don't know. That's the show.
So, hang on, which one did you declare?
Power of the Dog.
Right.
Reluctantly.
Right, in a minute.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go soon before I pass out on camera. Since I was gone for the week. I don't know about you, I can't sleep in places that aren't home. So I've got like a week's worth of sleep that's not in me, and I feel like I'm floating right now.
Speaking of that, what's your next? What's the next thing we have on the horizon, video wise?
Oh, God. I don't even remember what the schedule is.
We haven't made one. Oh,
There's a couple of streaming. There's that Sebastian Stan movie that's on Hulu, and there's something else that's supposed to be streaming that they're bombarding ads of. I can't remember what. Maybe I can pull that up really quickly while we have a second.
so in essence, we basically don't know. So AJ's movie reviews and verses will be coming soon.
Is that Daniel Radcliffe Channing Tatum thing is nearby, isn't it?
Lost City?
Yeah. Oh,
Yes, it is.
God damn it.
X is coming soon too.
We got Turning Red going to Disney Plus.
Yep.
And we got that goddamn Ryan Reynolds movie again. Another goddamn Ryan Reynolds Netflix movie.
The Adam Project? Yeah, that movie was terrible. But like I said, we've got X coming soon, so you get to talk about Ty West on the camera, so that would be fun.
That fucking guy was all about, I'm taking a break from acting, but it's like, he's got so much shit coming out, he's gonna take a break, and during his whole break, his shit's gonna be coming out, and then by the time all his shit has come out, his break will be over, and we'll be getting more shit from him. So he gets a break, but we don't get a break from him.
Pretty much.
That's how this works, apparently. So,
Sounds about right.
yeah, I know I could just not watch his stuff, but the review bullshit, so.
Yeah. It's all about the views. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, I've seen that trailer a billion times, Josie.
The advertising is going hard on that movie.
I've seen that trailer way too many times.
And is it, is it the Swiss Army Man, guys? Swiss Army Man is so fucking overrated. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, I've seen that trailer a bunch too, Josie.
So yeah, in terms of like how clustered the schedule is, in terms of all the awards, tonight we've got the Visual Effects Society.
Okay.
Sound editing is Sunday. Costume is tomorrow, Wednesday.
Okay.
The Annies are on Saturday. And then, of course, we also have the DGAs Saturday as well. And then Critics and BAFTA on Sunday. So I think it's the busiest week in terms of guild slash major award shows all going down.
I guess we're gonna do a BAFTA and Critics' Choice combined show on Sunday.
Yeah, as soon as
you might want to. I was gonna say, should we make that a Monday show? Because if BAFTA's gonna be changing the course of the race, I'm not doing BAFTA through a Twitter feed.
That's fine.
We're doing enough Twitter feed bullshit with the fucking. Oh, here's the categories we don't care about.
Well, I mean, you know.
So are we not doing a show next Sunday?
I wouldn't think if that's gonna be a combined show, I would say that Monday would just be both of them. Does that sound right?
We're probably going to be starting later because I have to run and I got to be at work at like 6 a.m. that day because it's spring break week. So
obviously, BAFTA should conquer that conversation. It'll be like, oh, by the way, Critics' Choice went with these, if that matters.
Sure.
Like we did,
Okay.
like we just did, like doing the way we did the Spirit Awards in this video will be how Critics' Choice probably goes down.
I'm good with that. Josie said Swiss Army Man did get a little too crude for me at the end.
It didn't know if it wanted to be too crude or too sappy, and it was just aggressively both.
So we don't have a show Sunday. We got a show Monday. So stay tuned for Monday. I don't know, maybe 7, 8 o'clock range, somewhere in that frame. Might be earlier. Stay tuned to social media for more information. Ashley can be found on Twitter at AshIsMyNameUK. More snack stashes still to come. As always, gaming content will return eventually. We got lots of stuff coming from Ashley. AJ, of course. As always, more AJ's movie reviews coming. We talked about the schedule a little bit. More
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed the turn. I just went into instant bad mood as soon as I remembered the Adam Project was this week.
Fair.
I really need to get some sleep.
Fine. We need to take it home because I haven't eaten all day. So that's going to be the show. Obviously, we've got more content coming from. I got Voices content. California content's almost completely gone. I got Water Parks video. I've got Platinum Max Caster rap show video. That's coming soon. Heck, I got a video of the entrance of CM Punk with Miseria Cantar. So that's something that's going to be on the network eventually.
Watch that to not get monetized for obvious reasons.
Definitely not getting money for that video. But follow me on Twitter at SerwinDisney. And, of course, AJ, as always, I don't want to delete this comment. Just like Keith Richards, cannot be killed by conventional weapons. And he also will be leaving a comment on any of these videos. We'll get you a response down the line in a recap video, too. So we appreciate the versus ideas and the commentary that I've gotten on chat. So thank you for that. Josie says, had a fun time chatting with you all as always. Keep you updated on film discoveries and book ventures. Please do. Josie, you need to, I don't know if you're interested in the late night wars, but I would, The Late Shift has an awesome movie and book, and I definitely recommend it. It's about the battle for the Johnny Carson spot between Jay Leno and David Letterman, where it was unjustly taken by Jay Leno. And it's got an amazing performance by Kathy Bates as Ellen Kushnick, if you watch the actual HBO movie. And that's the reason I'm such a big mark for John Michael Higgins, because of that. His performance as David Letterman, Dan Roebuck's performance as Jay Leno, Rich Little as Johnny Carson. Definitely check that out if you get a chance to. I absolutely recommend it 100%. And the sequel, which is also talking about Conan O'Brien's hopes to get the Tonight Show. So that's something I definitely recommend too. That's your show today. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening and tuning in, whether live or an archive. And enjoy the awards season, as we will be doing. And we'll see you guys next week. So until tomorrow, boys and girls. That's all we got to say about that.